All right, good Friday evening. I'm Storm Team 12 Chief Meteorologist Ken South. We have got storms now developing to the west of us in Louisiana and Arkansas. In response to this, a tornado watch has been issued for West Mississippi until 10 p.m. I think this is the first of several watches that are going to be issued for the lower Mississippi River Valley through tomorrow as we see multiple rounds of storms move across the state in response to this potent storm system right there over the middle part of the country. It's been producing severe weather today over the plains in the Midwest. Those storms in Iowa and Missouri headed across the river into Illinois. So far, we've seen one tornado warning, but notice Mississippi is in the warm sector of this frontal system. That is the most dangerous place to be, and that's why we're thinking we're going to get multiple rounds of storms, because this is not going to come through quickly. It's going to take a good 24 hours or so for this to move from west to east across the state. So, tornado watch in effect until 10 p.m. There you see the county outline. The metro is included down Interstate 55 and points west just until 10 o'clock. So I think after 10 o'clock we're going to get a little bit of a break from the bad weather, and then tomorrow it's going to be most of the day. So we'll get into the timing in just a second. First, I want to show you what's happening right now on Live IMAX 12. And notice how quickly these storms develop, and any one of these could start rotating and putting down a tornado. So that's what we're going to be watching for this evening. Up to the north of us, there is the spin with that storm system moving from Kansas back into Missouri. Right now, it is 79 degrees. It is warm, it is breezy, and it is humid. Those are the conditions that you would expect before a major severe weather event, and I think this is going to be a major one. So temperatures right now have cooled from the low 80s, that's where we were earlier this afternoon, into the mid 70s. We're not going to cool down all that much, though, for the rest of this evening with that strong south wind. We're going to just gradually fall back to the 70s and into, let's say, the mid 60s overnight. Take a look at our dew points. The dew point is a direct measurement of the amount of moisture in the air. So the higher the dew point, the more moisture that's in the air. And with those strong southerly winds, it's bringing moisture off the Gulf of Mexico. So dew points, or moisture, is surging northward. Notice in Little Rock, the dew point's 62, it's 63 in Jackson, 64 in Shreveport, and 72 in New Orleans. The more moisture that's in the air, the more unstable the atmosphere is, because moist air is lighter than dry air. It's buoyant. It tends to want to rise. And then when you have a forcing mechanism coming in, which is what that storm system is, that helps to push it up even more. Now, you can see back off to the west of us, we have got dry air on the other side of the front. Look at the dew points in Oklahoma City, Dallas, and San Antonio in the 20s, but in Shreveport and in Houston, it's in the mid to upper 60s. So just by looking at that, we know exactly where that front is. That cooler, drier air is moving into warm, moist, unstable air farther east from East Texas through Louisiana and into Arkansas and Mississippi. So moisture is in place. Check that box. We've also got very strong winds out there, and there is wind shear. Now, wind shear is a change in direction and speed of wind with height in the atmosphere. So at the lower levels, we've got strong winds coming in from the south, but the farther you go up in the atmosphere, the winds get stronger, and they start to veer around to the southwest and the west. That is going to help those storms to begin to rotate once they develop. So we're expecting wind gusts to be 30 to 40 miles per hour out ahead of the storm. Now, this is not associated with the severe weather. If we get a severe thunderstorm, the winds within that storm could reach 70 miles per hour or better. And then if it puts down a tornado, obviously the winds are going to be even stronger than that. So breezy conditions tonight and through the day tomorrow. And then, of course, with the severe weather coming in, those winds are likely going to get even stronger. So here's our storm system back to the west of us. Typically with a squall line, it's going to come in, it's going to come out. We may have to deal with it for 6 hours or so, but this is a little bit different situation. It's not immediately going to come through. It's going to be kind of a ragged situation at first with scattered storms, discrete cells. It's going to kind of coalesce into a squall line, especially as it moves east of Interstate 55. And then we got a little wave of low pressure developing along the front, which is going to delay its movement through Mississippi. So bottom line is, typical squall line, several hours, it's in, it's out. This one is going to take a good 24 hours from Friday night through Saturday night to clear the state. So that's why we're saying multiple rounds of storms coming in. It's going to be an extended event, and unfortunately could be a tornado outbreak. Now, by Sunday, big improvement. The storm moves to the east of us. High pressure comes in. Wind shift to the northwest, and temperatures are going to cool down about 15 degrees on average. So this is our high-resolution model. It's a high-resolution rapid refresh is the name of it, HRRR. And this is showing a cluster of thunderstorms a little bit later this evening. Of course, it's already 7 o'clock, so it's showing that at 7 o'clock. And we do have a few storms developing back off to the west of the Mississippi River. Doesn't look quite this bad right now, though. This model, though, is saying that those storms are going to develop this evening, move to the northeast by 10 o'clock tonight, and then after 10 o'clock, remember that's the expiration time of the tornado watch, could be a little bit of a break overnight, although we can't rule out some isolated, scattered, strong to severe storms. Even overnight, I just think the atmosphere is going to recharge during the day tomorrow. The front's going to be closer, and late morning to about midday, I think we are going to see some discrete supercells begin to develop. Those are severe thunderstorms that are kind of out there by themselves, and they feed off a very warm, unstable atmosphere environment, and they can live for a while because of that, because they're not competing with anything else. So this is the kind of setup that you would get long track tornadoes, and with all the elements coming together, it looks like there could be violent, long track, EF2 or stronger tornadoes that move across Mississippi for potentially hundreds of miles and several hours. Obviously, we don't want that to happen, but the possibility is there. So that's what we want to let people know so you can get prepared for it. Now, eventually, a squall line will come together east of I-55. It's going to move across the Pine Belt and into Alabama, but it really is going to take most of Saturday evening for this to completely clear out. And, of course, we get to Sunday, and we get the sun back, and temperatures cool down. So our severe weather risk, unfortunately, has been increasing, and it is pretty high right now. For tonight, we're under a level 3 to 4 risk of severe weather. That's rare enough, but look at where we are tomorrow. Tomorrow, in the afternoon and evening, we're under a level 4 to 5 risk of severe weather. Now, Jackson, Hattiesburg, Meridian, and all areas in between are in that level 5 risk of severe weather, the high category. So these are really rare. We get a handful of these in our area each decade, and the last time a high-risk area was issued a full day or more before the event, that was about April 2012, about 13 years ago, before a tornado outbreak. So unfortunately, a tornado outbreak is potentially what we're looking at here. It is very likely, there is a very high chance that we're going to get damaging winds and tornadoes from this system through the first half of the weekend. Large hail is also likely, and flooding. I'm going to keep that threat at medium because of the multiple rounds of rain and the fact that it's going to take 24 hours to come through. Some places are going to pick up 2 to 3 inches of rain, so we really have to be on the lookout for anything. So what we want you to do now is figure out, before all of this gets going, before there is a real threat, figure out what you would do and where you would go if a tornado warning is issued for your area. Because if a tornado warning is issued for where you are, remember, it's not going to be one of these EF0s and 1 tornadoes, which is bad enough, but we have the potential for EF2s, 3s, 4s, or even worse. And that's an extremely dangerous situation. So you need to know where to go, and you need to be able to get there immediately. So we don't want you to stray too far from your predetermined safe spot for tomorrow. Don't get out and about, especially in a vehicle. And if you're in a mobile home, you may want to make plans now to just go hang out with friends and family that have maybe a sturdier structure, or get to a facility that has been opened for severe weather, a safe a shelter for instances just like this. So if you have a basement or a storm shelter, that's the number one place to go. You want to get underground if that's possible. If you don't have that, you need to get to the lowest floor of a sturdy structure in a small interior room, putting as many walls between you and the outside as possible and staying away from windows. And if you have a safety kit, you should take that with you as well. Also, some tips: if you can get under something sturdy like a table or a desk, if you got room to do that, and if you've got that available, that's a good thing to do. Cover your body. If you got something to put on your head, that's good. And putting on shoes is not a bad idea. If a tornado hits and there's debris and you have to go walking around outside after it hits, you're not probably going to be able to find shoes immediately. So if they're already on your feet, you're already ahead of the game there. So here's some positive news. After Saturday, we're done with bad weather for at least a little while. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday all look good. And there's a little bit of rain in the forecast for Wednesday night into Thursday, but not a major storm. We're talking about spotty showers by the end of next week. Overall, the next several days after Saturday actually looks pretty good. Now, tonight, it's a weather alert tonight. Remember, we're already under a tornado watch. Temperatures are going to be in the mid-60s, 50% chance of scattered storms. Some of those are likely going to be severe. And then tomorrow, winds are going to be gusting in from the south. I don't normally put a tornado icon on your forecast, but since we're expecting a tornado outbreak, why not? I think we are going to see multiple tornado warnings at the same time at some point during the day tomorrow. And I think tornado touchdowns are likely as well. So obviously it's a weather alert day. Through the day Saturday, a 90% chance of storms, and that wrapping up Saturday night. Now here's a look at the 8-day forecast. Cooler behind the system, 68 for a high Sunday, down to 41 Monday morning. We're back up to 72 on St. Patrick's Day. A lot of sun Monday. Clouds are going to be increasing Tuesday and Wednesday as we warm up, and we're going to bring in that weaker storm late Wednesday through early Thursday. The chance of rain no better than about 30%. We are going to cool down behind that front too, though. Notice a little bit cool, especially in the morning by the end of next week. And, of course, St. Patty's Day, the parade, House St. Patty's Day Parade, is Saturday, March the 22nd. And some of the models suggesting that another quick storm could move in that day. So I'm just going to put a 20% chance of rain in right now, although we're going to be watching that, and it could go up or down over the next couple of days. Obviously, we'll get to that next Saturday. Our biggest concern is what's going to happen this Saturday, tomorrow. And we just got to get through the first half of this weekend, and then I think we'll be able to breathe a little bit easier. Unfortunately, this is a high-end severe weather event. Significant severe weather is possible with the storm, so please make a plan, know what to do, have multiple ways to get warnings. Download those free apps on your smart device. Have a no weather radio set to on. Just don't depend on a weather siren going off and think I'm going to hear the siren and then I'll do something, because you may not hear it, especially if there's storms around, if you're inside, or if the siren is pretty far away from your location. So again, have multiple ways to get warnings and know what to do and where to go when a tornado warning is issued. We'll have more updates, of course, later this evening, and we're likely going to be on the air a lot over the next day or so. So we will see you when the severe weather hits.